There was a guy who, his entire business strategy explained in an interview. He was like, you guys are going to be bored about what we're going to do for the next 55 minutes because I can explain it in 5. And we're like, and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, here's it. He's like, okay. So what I do is I find a city and I find the main street. Because usually there's a main street that goes through the middle of the state, the oldest street, whatever. It's like, and then I take
Hey, Segosi. Back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good Friday, y'all. We made it. Happy Friday. We're here bright and early, y'all. I hit my goal. We got our large cup of coffee over here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get into this reaction. And my Friday is going to be amazing because I don't have to do this reaction throughout the day with the baby. All I got to do is work out today, y'all. That's it. What a simple day today by waking up early and hitting the goals I set the prior day. But I ain't gonna sit here and talk too much, y'all. Let's get into the video before this baby wakes up. Enough with the chit chat. Let's get into the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Euphrates is still drying up.
Yeah, and they're starting to find statues at the bottom.
Yes.
And doesn't it say in the Bible that there's going to be Leviathan at the bottom of the river?
Not Leviathan. It's like imprisoned, like Nephilim.
Nephilim, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are statues that are being revealed at the bottom of it. So,
because like I think there was a guy that like claimed that he had like recordings, like on top, like near the Euphrates River, and like he was saying like you could hear like chains and stuff like underneath
that,
like the ground and whatnot. Just crazy.
Just a little video of this. Abraham Lincoln's tomb. He's buried like down there. But anyway, looking at these artifacts, it looks like they're discovering Abraham Lincoln's tomb, and this is like a piece of the actual thing, and it's more like an archaeological find than, oh, this is Abraham Lincoln, one of the presidents that died, and it's just really weird. And then I look behind, and the dates are the same dates as the reset, and then another thing is, there are Abraham Lincoln statues, not only in America, but in Mexico and other places of the earth. So maybe he was some sort of Tartarian ruler. Who knows?
Holy shit. Rockstar has just confirmed that everything we saw in that second GTA 6 trailer was captured entirely in-game on a PS5. They said that half the trailer was from actual gameplay and the other half was from cutscenes. Bro, no wonder it is delayed. Not only are they doing things like putting bubbles in the beer, but they're also spending time on tiny little details like how the liquid moves in those bottles when you're carrying them. I don't even want to know how much time they've spent in the strip club. It's already become the most expensive game in history, with reports now suggesting that it's costing more than it was to build the Burj Khalifa. And there are also rumors that the map could be twice the size of GTA 5 and take up around 200 gig of storage.
Anthony Edwards, he is that N. But you know who Anthony Edwards' father is?
MJ. Yeah. You think so?
I think MJ, because it's interesting. I think Jimmy Butler is his son too. And if you look at Jimmy Butler, he's played very well in Golden State since he got traded there.
Yeah.
That's how Jimmy does, man. Jimmy's born in the year of the snake. Ant-Man's born in the year of the snake. I personally believe they're both Michael Jordan's sons. Look at how they play. I mean, Anthony Edwards is the freaking man. He's going to dominate this league unless he gets injured. And by the way, when did Anthony Edwards start taking over the league? Last year?
Yeah.
You know he's born on the 5th? You know he changed his jersey number to number 5 right before he became the superstar he is now? Yeah, I wonder who told him to do that. I wonder who.
I said Aiden Ross tried to pay a girl $20,000 to talk to him, and she still said no. And he did not like that. He went on this live stream and was like, she's a He said I can never get a man and that I'm poor because my bed frame is from IKEA. Yeah, he came after me really hard and then got his fans to like mass report me. And then Instagram was like, yeah, you're right, she's bad. So my account got deleted.
This is when you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000.
Before he gets in this, we were talking about yesterday's video, like, why is this guy signing a contract? He's making multi-million. He's probably got over, I don't know how many subscribers wherever he streams live on Twitch, and you got to pay to subscribe over there a month. So, you know, he always has 20,000 people watching him daily. And why are you going to sign a contract? You're already a multi-millionaire. Why are you going to go sign a contract where you're told what to do and whatnot? This is why, y'all.
To show you platinum, you running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Okay. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that when you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors.
It's just you were offered some gay shit?
I don't, no. I'm saying that to the right when I seen it, those was those guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Those different people, which I have no problem with. You know, that's y'all. You feel me? And I just chose to go straight, and I haven't been platinum since.
But I was offered something, and I just wasn't with it. But when they said, "Good luck, young man, you're on your own," and I never went platinum since.
Wait, so what did they offer you?
They were just like, you walk this way or you come this way, and
that's weird.
Did they ask about like sacrifices or something?
Nah, I didn't go that far. Like I was just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go this way, and that was their exact words.
What impact did they sell you on? Did they say, hey, we could do such and such and such?
Nah, they didn't. It wasn't like that. I wasn't really allowed. If that was the case, it really wasn't allowed, or maybe I was bugging. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The thing about it was, I did never go platinum again. I did never go platinum again.
So it's a conspiracy somehow.
So I kind of thought that. But when I came back, and maybe it was me, because I figured out another way to do it. Maybe I run its course. Like it doesn't matter how dope you are. The audience gets tired of you after a while.
Right.
Now you could blame it on, oh shit, I wasn't fucking with this guy, or I wasn't with this guy, or you could say, yo, the audience gets tired of you.
Yeah.
Things
So
change. Yeah.
at that time when I was being offered something just once, I thought that. I really thought that this was what that moment was. This was Illuminati, and I turned it down. And the fact is, I did, and nothing. Like I was still successful. I just wasn't successful as I was prior to that moment.
Right.
So I always thought that. You know what I mean? Now, could I have been bugging? Of course. Could I have been correct? Of course. I actually don't know. But I can tell you like this. This time I've made it all 1,000,000% without that being approached.
The Overtime Tax, Wage and Tax Relief Act will give relief to people that actually are not laying on the couch, but are putting in extra time to make this country work. It's simple. If you work extra hours, you get extra pay. And a majority of that does not go to state and federal government. The government didn't earn it. These people that are working earned it. And this is a common sense bill.
Here's what a day at Disney cost me for a family of 5.
I'm interested
Before we
in
even
this
got
one.
into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being a Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. Paying for the Lightning Lane was $35 per person and only would have given us speed access to 3 rides, so we opted out of that. Right after our first ride, we bought 2 waters and 3 ice creams. This totaled $29.50. After the second ride, they wanted a pretzel and I wanted a beer. This was another $19. This guy right here wanted a lightsaber for $44.99, but I was a hard no. After that, it was time for lunch, so we went to the Brown Derby where we could sit down for a little bit and order a decent meal. They didn't like the options and the prices were outrageous, so we left and went somewhere else. We each ended up with a small pizza, each had a side and a small drink, totaling $44.35. After lunch, we took off, waited more lines, and we also met a few characters along the way. Once we got to Star Wars Land, we had to buy some blue milk for $10.29. It tasted like a slushie with nerds on top. We took a few minutes to meet Kylo Ren.
Your courage will be tested and rewarded.
The kids then snuck away and bought some Star Wars Coca-Cola. This was $6.50. But this guy said it was worth it. After the next ride, we went and had a churro, a water, and a margarita. It had been a long day at this point. That margarita was well needed. This was another $36. And just as I thought the day was finally over, the rest of the family decided they want to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs. This place was my literal hell. It was shoulder to shoulder in every store and restaurant. We ended up at the Formata Cocina for some Mexican food. $30 for carnitas, $19 margarita, $8 corn, $30 carne asada, and then each of the kids with drinks and food were an additional $30 to $40 each, totaling $245.27 for dinner. There was some sticker shock here, and right after that, they all wanted to go shop. Luckily, it was getting late, and we decided to not go into any stores. The grand total for our day was $1,391.91.
That's just a day, y'all. Like, I thought about taking Mama Bear. It's her birthday in September, so I'm like, I want to, take her somewhere nice. I was like, maybe we'll go to Disneyland. But then I'm like, no, because we're going to pay so much money. and we're just gonna sit there and wait in line. Like I remember the last time I went, so that's scratched. Like that's scratched. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but you know, I you guys are gonna probably unsubscribe, but I like Disneyland, right? I have fun when I go there. You know what I mean? It's fun. I haven't been in a while, but I know the times I went, I had a good time, right? It was a good time. But it's changed so much that I probably won't go until the baby's a little older and just enjoy it through his eyes.
Have you heard of the Mountain Dew conspiracy theory?
Mountain Dew? No, I haven't.
This one's fun.
Let's hear it.
Every time Mountain Dew makes a marketing push for a new drink or a new flavor that they have, it coincides with a world event that typically isn't that great.
That's terrifying. Let's hear it.
So, Mountain Dew Code Red came out in 2001.
I know what event happened then.
3 months later, after it came out, 9/11 happened.
This is not good.
Maui burst. Right after they dropped that, 3 months later, the wildfires happened in Maui.
Wow, that's crazy.
Are you ready for this one?
Ready.
The Star Spangled Splash came out last year. Do you know who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
George Washington.
Francis Scott Key. What bridge fell last year in Baltimore? The Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Oh.
Yes!
3 months after?
That's kind of like immediately after that one. Pitch Black. A few years ago, we had a blackout in the IT world. July
Whoa.
19, 2024. Various IT systems around the world experience an outage.
Mountain Dew dropped it and it went dark.
Yes. Another one. Tropical Swirl. Crazy hurricanes that wouldn't end in Southeast America just a few months after they dropped that flavor.
They also, I just looked it up, they're dropping a Mango Rush flavor.
Yeah.
It might be a flub.
It literally might be.
And you can only get it at Little Caesars.
Ooh.
So where are the most Little Caesars, Zach?
Did you look that up?
No, but we saw one in Houston, Texas.
So you think there's going to be a flood in Houston, Texas?
There might be.
You heard about
Now, don't they have a Mountain Dew coming out and then like the statue? It's like something to do with 4th of July type vibes, like, and then the Statue of Liberty is like burning down or like blowing up or something. I don't know, y'all.
Jesus. They put him in a confessional. People
Yes.
knew it was AI Jesus. They were like all for it. More and more people wanted to come and interact with it. I think that the reason people are pushing back right now is there's two reasons. One, they haven't done it, so they don't realize how good
How
it feels.
powerful, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How powerful that you can literally get it to be your own personal Jesus in that it's like, well, could you give me that, but in a parable? Could you give me that, but as it relates to the 10 Commandments? Could you give me that, but like talk to me like what advice did Mary give you, right? And not only will it do it, it will do it well.
Little 12-year-old little badass kid. He's hot. Damn, until his 22nd birthday? About to get the whole city panicking. There's our drones in New York situation right there. Trolls. It's kind of funny, y'all. That's how simple it is for them to distract us.
Images appearing on social media prove that China is no longer an empire as it once was, and that the people want to put an end to Xi's reign.
Since the early 90s, there was always talks or reports of an unknown creature roaming around in the woods, whether it be a Bigfoot or a rake, but there was never any clear footage of it. That is until I ran across a viral clip that appears to show one of these creatures on camera. I want you to check out the video and let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
There's like something in the trees. Right there, you see it? It's right there, it's right there. I literally don't. It's like moving, it's right in front of you, right there. Oh, it's moving, right? What is that? I'm sorry. Wait, it doesn't look like a coyote. What the heck is that? Yo, what is that? That looks so weird. Try to see if you can go up to it. Bro, what is that? That is so weird. What is that, bro? That is not a coyote. Definitely not a bear. You see it, right? Definitely see it. Bro, that's so weird. It's white. Look how it's moving. One sec, I gotta try to like... Looks like it's scavenging. I'm trying to get closer to it, but yo, this is the biggest L in the world, bro. I'm gonna break my drone. Yeah, okay. Try not to break it.
But you saw that, right? It was like...
Where'd it go? Is it still there?
I don't see it.
There it is. Oh,
what is that?
Oh my God.
If you smoke marijuana, even if your partner does not and is never around you when you're using it, she has a higher chance of a miscarriage just because you're smoking marijuana.
How?
Because of DNA damage inside the sperm's head.
Okay, I'm giving her bad sperm.
You're giving out bad sperm.
I guess somebody else found another Mandela glitch effect.
It comes from one of the most popular shows that we've ever watched. Here's what we know is fact. 99% of us have seen Home Alone. Now, most of us can quote that movie. Marv nicknamed them the Wet Bandits, right? Him and Joe Pesci are out driving around trying to find Kevin. Here's Kevin, or Macaulay Culkin, hiding in the nativity scene. And in this scene, Marv asks, as he points to the church, "Hey, Harry, you want to go check inside that place?" I want you to comment what Joe Pesci replied. Make sure we're all on the same page here.
Okay, so everybody in the comments are saying the guy responded, "Nah, that place gives me the creeps."
Most of us will remember him saying, "Nah, that place gives me the creeps." Go watch that movie right now. That line is not in the movie.
We have it, the clip.
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going there.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
He didn't say, "That place gives me the creeps."
Someone on TikTok help me figure out how the fuck this works.
I have my money, but I want it in these straps so it doesn't go away, right? So I
Right.
go, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop. It's there.
What is that?
Hold on, make
it go back.
Get the what's going on?
Wait, hold on. Start over.
Wait. It's his face there. Go. And it's
Wait,
his
what
face.
the Wait, what? Oh, his face is covered?
Am I being fucked with? No, bro.
What? Yo, that happened in my hand. It happened in my hand. Whoa. It flicked. You saw it flick? How's it flicking? Do it at the slowest you've ever done in your entire life. Yeah, okay, it's there. Now go slow.
Slower.
How the fuck it didn't even make a sound? It didn't make a sound. How is that happening?
Comedian Corey Holcomb just said something that blew my mind. Celebrities just don't talk like this. He may need security after this video. Check out this clip.
I feel the people who are really in charge of the music industry killed our best artists. Michael Jackson was murdered. Prince was murdered. Whitney Houston was murdered. This is what I believe. I'm putting it out there. When you're in that music game, you're not going to leave with nothing that makes you rich. You're going to leave dead. Do the research. Check out I'm talking about our greatest artists.
But this is a conspiracy theory, though.
That's what they call it to make you feel better about it. But I'm saying, who in the music industry, I can't believe Mariah Carey is still alive. Sister, I pray for you all the time. Your catalog game is popping. I can't believe they ain't came and got the sister. I'm worried about her. Mariah Carey got a real catalog. At one time, she was one of the best vocalists in the world. I don't think they're going to let her leave with that.
What's that? Oh, now it's raining blue in California as well? Not just Texas? Okay. Yeah, there's been several reports of people talking about how it's raining blue in California as well. One person talked about how they tested the water and apparently there was high doses of iron in this water. What? At first, this was believed to just be localized in Texas, but now there's quite a few people reporting this in California. And one person in California decided to try this water as well. Now, he didn't have the same effects as the person in Texas did with the hallucinations, but he said he did feel nauseous and a bit dizzy. Okay. And this was with a pretty small amount of water, just what he could get gathered in his hands. So, okay. This rain seems to be a bit terrifying, okay? Let's try to avoid the blue rain and let's try not to get attacked by it, okay? All right.
Look at that shit. Valley farmers await Mexico water.
Very, very beneficial, especially if you're a cotton and grain farmer. They've had some really rough times.
See, this shit happened when Biden was president. Mexico stopped giving us water. Even the sugar mill closed down. And he did nothing about it to protect the farmers. And then who came in and got the fucking ball rolling and made Mexico give us back our water? ¿Quién crees? Papa Trump. Telling you, boy. Palos.
I am begging Netflix to make a documentary about these two guys who went to Texas,
bought 24 million separate lottery tickets in a 72-hour time frame. Ended up profiting $60 million because they won the $90 million jackpot. And Texas is now saying, we don't want to do the lottery anymore. Just shut it off. And one of them is from Tasmania. I didn't even know people lived there. And he goes by the Joker. Last month, the Wall Street Journal puts this story out, how a secretive gambler called the Joker took down the Texas lottery. This story, which you should go and read, it's amazing, goes into detail how they bought 25 million separate tickets in a 72-hour process in order to profit around $60 million. And it was all done by two guys that don't live in Texas or America. Bernard Marantelli, who was this finance guy. Then there's Zelko Ranogajic, who is rarely photographed. He's known within London as the Loch Ness Monster because this man's just never photographed. This is like the only photograph of him ever from 2012. These guys, they buy two separate warehouses and they purchased a bunch of lottery machines where you can print out tickets. They purchased it from this kind of failing startup called lottery.com. They planned for this for months. They knew if the lottery got to a certain number, it would be very profitable for them. So it got to 95 million and they said, all right, it's time to go. And all of these lottery machines were in just warehouses in Texas, and they brought themselves and then some, trusted people and their kids. And they just started printing lottery tickets around the clock for 72 hours. Texas politicians later likened the operation to a sweatshop. The Joker, Zelko, he funded this whole thing because obviously you need a lot of money up front. By the way, Zelko's changed his name like 1 billion times. So yeah, I need a documentary on it. So they ended up winning. Texas figures this out and they're like, bro, what? How did this happen? And the lieutenant governor called the cruise win the biggest theft from the people of Texas in the history of Texas. This all went down in 2023. They had lawyers that said, no, they did everything legally. And just last week, we saw that the head of the Texas lottery had to step down. And on top of it, the Texas legislators are like, you're not getting any more money, Texas lottery. So for the next 2 years, they're getting $0. So the Texas lottery pretty much shut down. And also, the Joker has like these accounts in the Isle of Man, a tax haven off the UK coast. And then also he somehow has an escrow account at a Detroit law. I mean, that documentary. This is a documentary. This article goes on to talk about some other crews, some other things that are very similar. I guess there's a lot of groups that do this. I mean, it's unbelievable stuff. And I need to know more immediately.
There's a new American Pope, y'all. What do you guys think of this new Pope? I don't really follow these things too much, but it's supposed to be historic. First ever American Pope. What do you guys think about that?
That the most racist scientific community ever were 19th century anthropologists. They're the ones that set up the race, and they said white male humans were at the top of the evolutionary ladder, and blacks and everybody else were lower, closer to the apes, and all of this. If you called someone Neanderthal, that was an insult. Like, they're still evolving. In the 1990s, now that we can do genetic tracking and things, the world found out that Europeans are between 1% and 3% Neanderthal genetically, and Africans are 0% Neanderthal. So in the 1990s, research papers started coming out talking about how creative and imaginative the Neanderthals must have been.
Teachers and the system makes kids hate reading and learning. I read an interesting study. The U.S. military in the 1950s wanted to know how to educate troops around the world. So they said, it's very hard for us to create like classrooms with teachers. What if we do distance education? This is before the internet, before online courses. And so the military rolled out military students in a classroom with a teacher, and then those learning distance education where they'd get this stuff in the mail, they'd study on their own, they submit the answers. Turns out there was no difference, except the distance education actually performed a little better.
If you guys haven't gone down that rabbit hole,
oh man,
please go look up the magnetic pole shifts in recent years. Because north ain't north no more, people.
In recent days, it's moving fast.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it recent days, but recent months, I know it's moved several hundred miles. So
it's moving quick, and there's only a matter of time before the global shield, the magnetic shield around the Earth, moves with the poles. So when the poles flip, then there's going to be a time where that plasma shield isn't strong enough. You know, and all that radiation, all that plasma from the sun is going to scorch wherever it hits.
Well, and I just saw something recently about someone said there's a minimum. They did all the data and all the data collection. They believe that there's at least 7 large military installations underground. City-sized installations underground for just such an occasion.
If you want to look up the map, it's the U.S. Navy warfare something flood map is what it's called, and basically Colorado's an island on that map. The Mississippi is a large body of water that goes all the way up into Canada. So yeah. Unless you live in Colorado, you're pretty much in big trouble.
Who wants to live in Colorado? I mean, just saying. I don't. You can. I don't want to live in Colorado.
I don't have the money.
I'll pass. So claims link this to the Lemuria.
Lemuria. That's what we talk about.
Yep. Atlantis, or even the Mu, which the Mu
another thing we talk about.
We talk about the lost civilization of Mu.
Yeah.
And alleged writings resemble ancient Egyptian and Tibetan scripts. Theorists say it predates known civilizations, believed to be supervisors of global cataclysm. The city may have once been above ground, and legends of the ancient giants support the theory. Suggested trade routes with Mesopotamia or Asia, and the city could be a hub of ancient knowledge. Myths from native tribes, like the Paiute, align loosely, raises questions about human prehistory. Man, I've been my words have been not wording so much lately.
I used to live in California, so these are all words I've heard a lot. You know,
right.
I mean? Like you hear about the Paiutes all the time on the news.
So the Paiutes and the Shoshone tribes speak of the Tool people, right? Which legends include underground dwellers.
Isn't there trademark laws where they're not allowed to sell? Because not in China. That's the issue, bro. That's the problem. If you're an entrepreneur, you spend $100 million to come up with a concept for something, let's say like a chip or some dope shit, and China finds out that your shit's popping, they will steal your shit, make it for cheaper and sell it to people, and in most cases it'll be under almost the same name or the same name. They'll just straight up sell it because apparently we have laws that the Chinese companies could sue our companies here in our courts, but we cannot go to China and sue Chinese companies for stealing our shit.
I normally don't take my daughter to the zoo, but her school was going, so I was a volunteer. We saw this polar bear, and he was the only one in his habitat, and he was constantly doing this same head motion as he was walking back. We left and seen some other animals, and we came back. That was about 45 minutes in between, and he was still doing this same motion. We saw the elephants. They also were doing these continuous motions. It looked like he was stretching when I first seen him, but then when he would walk in between, he'll do the exact same thing. And it just makes me think that this is not entertainment. This is very sad. Animals are like in a prison, and they are in captivity so long that they're stuck in a loop, and it's horrible.
It's called the Indus Water Treaty that was signed many, many years ago, where they're sharing the water, and India's holding the water from Pakistan. And one of Pakistan's, I think it's 6, they have a breakdown of what are 6 things you could do to us that would prompt us using a nuclear bomb on you. One of the 6 is if you don't allow us to get the water, and they're calling this something that can prompt a nuclear war. And India is not releasing the water. So they're still hanging on to it and not allocating the water that they need to be.
We were talking about rocks and things. What about the Grand Canyon? I want to hear 5 minutes of things about the Grand Canyon, because that was all naturally formed, right? It's just the natural, everything about it's just normal, right?
Sure.
And 5 minutes begins now. So Chaz, the Grand Canyon.
So how far do we want to go? How deep, real quick?
As deep as you can.
So I would start off with the less fringe part of this that I've gone deeper into, and would say that it's clearly ancient as fuck.
It has ancient shit all over it. It's been anciently quarried for giant megalithic stones. It has, we have found more Egyptian based artifacts and mummies in the Grand Canyon than probably anywhere in the world.
Whoa.
Not the country, but yes, the country, but the world. We have found more mummies in our country than in Egypt. We sell them mummies to display. So we have places a part of the Grand Canyon that you can't go. You're not allowed to be there. They will kick your ass out in a heartbeat. We know there are caves that are giant. They're like, we're talking about city, Darren Kuyu levels, cities that we aren't allowed to see and touch.
Really?
We know that they've been discovered by more older. I've tried to read through some of these people who have gone there earlier before the Smithsonian got involved. But the moment the Smithsonian gets involved, boom, everybody gets kicked out. You don't hear anything more. They found a cave that was a room full of like 9 Egyptian style mummies in there that were all adult men, soldier looking people in some sense. And then that was led to another part that apparently went in further and they just never were excavated it far enough. And then the Smithsonian gets involved. You don't hear shit about it anymore. This gets really weird really quickly.
What, like they just cut it off? They just make it stop?
They just pretty much, the Smithsonian like blocks it all off. They say all this is pretty much fake, or they just kind of like ignore it and don't talk about it anymore. And they just try to hide that shit. It's like the giants. They found giant as well. They have found giant bones there and all over the country. And they have
Probably
tried
dinosaur, right?
Totally dinosaurs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Giant human skeletons that are dinosaurs, you know? And like Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, our own president, spoke about it in one of his speeches that we had giants that we had found. Like, this is not a
no way.
We have
talked about it.
He legitimately gave a speech, and I read the damn thing because I couldn't believe it. That he says that the giants who lived on our continent before us, because they had been finding them in the 1800s, fucking everywhere, including the Grand Canyon.
And also, a lot of missing 411 cases happen at the Grand Canyon. Anyone that's interested in missing 411, a lot of that stuff happens in the Grand Canyon.
Believing that Israel is targeting babies intentionally, which is not correct. There should be a death sentence to be killed off in war if you hold a gun, even if you are a 16-year-old and under UN, whatever it is called, a child, a 17-year-old who hold a grenade. I'm going to play golf, whether you like it or not.
I'll say the hard things other people won't. We need to talk about raising the retirement age. I don't know why everybody's afraid of raising the retirement age. We're working, we're living longer, and we're working longer anyway. And let me be nobody clear. Actually, retires and then goes and jumps on the hammock.
Absolutely not. Stop fucking the millennials and Gen Zers. We're still going through the grieving process of losing the American dream, not even being able to buy a house. Now you want to kick the can down the road and have us work till we're 75? We've been in a building from 9 to 5 since we were 4 years old. We go to school from 4 to 24. Then we thought we were going to work for 40 years, which is already exhausting enough. Now you want to kick the can down till we're 80 years old? We're working 2 jobs. Not because we're going to go buy a lake house or get a pool or go on a vacation. We're working 2 jobs just so we can afford to split rent with another adult. 30s and 40-year-olds are living with roommates because they can't afford shit, working 50 hours plus driving Uber on the weekends, and now you want us to retire later? You know what the politicians are going to do? They're starting to talk about all this shit now. They're going to wait until the final boomer actually retires. Then they're going to want to raise the retirement age so that the millennials and Gen Zs get fucked because they don't want to lose any votes from the boomer generation. So no. But
I can tell you how to blow up on social media.
Daily.
You gotta go every day. Every day. I don't care if it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is. Every single day I need to see you. If I don't, I'm on to the next. Viewers cheat.
Switch roll. Like it's such a puzzle, y'all. Like yesterday's video didn't do too good. I mean, it did good if you asked me 5 months ago, like, damn, this is a #1 performing video. But I think the problem was I scheduled my video to come out. Like little things like that. Like if you Google, it's not set in stone that this is fact, but it said a lot of people say when you schedule a video, it hurts the algorithm. Like things like that. And it tells you right there when you're uploading tip. It'll say like a little tip in light gray, like small print. Don't schedule. It'll say like wait for video to finish processing and then upload video. It doesn't say then schedule video. So guess what? I'm not going to schedule ever again. And even if you go on Google and type in best times to post a video on YouTube, it'll tell you Monday through Sunday what best times in those slot, like in those days, the best times that like YouTube has a lot of people watching. Like, it's deep, y'all. Plus, you got to do it every day. And I'm still learning out little tricks and things like that just to boost it a little bit. Like, it's like a puzzle.
In America, and we just saw this bridge, and it looks like an optical illusion. This thing looks like it's going into space. Look at this! We're meant to drive up this. Look at that! It's like the stairway to heaven. That is insane. It's like you could drive off the end of it. It's like an actual ramp. Like, you can't see the end of it. That is insane.
Ibogaine does three things. Within 48 hours, will resolve physiological substance dependence for 80% of folks who take it but one time. That goes to 97% when they do it with a booster dose. The second thing that it does is it restores an individual's sense of ownership over self. And I would say, finally, and most importantly, many individuals who have an Ibogaine experience come away with a concrete affirmation and knowledge that they are a spiritual being made in the image of an almighty creator whose essence is pure and unconditional love for them, and that they have a unique and special purpose to achieve with their life.
Okay, so what is this about?
So that's an op-ed piece that Stephen Greer wrote about himself, and you can see the highlighted portions there.
Okay. Oh, the highlighted portions. We feel that the struggle for our civil rights as gay and lesbian citizens is intricately linked to all struggles against racism, sexism, and anti-Semitism in the country and worldwide. We have fought and died for this country. We are its doctors.
Signed?
Signed by Dr. Stephen M. Greer, MD of Asheville.
Now, I have absolutely nothing against homosexual rights, anything like that. I completely agree with the premise.
Yeah.
But if someone's living a double life and doesn't bring that out and own that in this world, and you want to be believed about briefing the CIA and the president and all these people on UFOs, that's a little, his early life doesn't add up to me.
When Christopher Columbus first got to America, he actually talked about a race of dog-headed people being here.
Really? I didn't learn that in history class.
His original writings went missing. His son wrote down some of the stuff that he wrote, and then that writing was actually considered banned or something. They don't want you to know what he wrote. Type in Hernan Cortez giants. He says straight up in his quote that there is the posterity of giants they believe to exist here. He said they brought him the leg bone of one, which was from the hip to the knee, and he said, I measured myself against it, and it was as tall as I am.
Jeez.
Though I am a man of reasonable height, he said, this must assuredly be giants in the land. Basically, they get here, and there was dog-headed people, and there was giants. They got here and just like killed them. Type in any early explorer giants or dog-headed people or something. You're going to find some writings. You're going to be like, why didn't they teach us this in school? Or how about it really existed and they just don't want you to know about it because it points to the Bible? Like, it validates that God is true. Everything that we know about the biblical text is not what we're assuming.
Well, if respectfully, Canadians' view on this is not going to change on the 51st state. Secondly, we are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
See, the conflict is, and this is very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation, but we want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada. And we put tariffs on cars from Canada, and at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars. And we don't want steel from Canada because we're making our own steel, and we're having massive steel plants being built right now as we speak. We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things because we want to be able to do it ourselves. And we, because of, past thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us. And there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's a place that will have to be able to take care of itself economically. I assume they can. I will tell you that Trudeau, when I spoke to him, I used to call him Governor Trudeau. I think that probably didn't help his election. But when I spoke to him, I said, so why are we taking your cars? Why are we taking we want to make them ourselves. I mean, I said, and if the price of your cars went up, or if we put a tariff on your cars of 25%, what would that mean to you? He said, that would mean the end of Canada. He actually said that to me. And I said, that's a strange answer, but I understand his answer. But no, I mean, it's hard to justify subsidizing Canada to the tune of maybe $200 billion a year. We protect Canada militarily, and we always will. We're going to, that's not a money thing. But we always will. But, it's not fair. But why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number. And it's hard for the American taxpayer to say, gee whiz, we love doing that. Thank you very much. We're going to have a very substantive. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yo, y'all ever just sit back and realize, like, damn, I really got no friends. Like, for me, I got friends, but I don't got no friends, friends, word,
Yeah, that used to, when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's different. But when I was younger, I used to see people like, why does everyone got these friends? Like, I'm always like, I don't have no friends. And then when you get older, you realize like all these people with friends, like a lot of friends, they really don't have no friends, y'all. You know what I mean? So anybody out there that's feeling lonely or whatnot, you're in way better shoes than those people that are going out every weekend with their so-called friends and whatnot. You're in good shoes, y'all. You're in good shoes.
We're watching The Little Mermaid, and my daughter goes, Mommy, look who it is.
Little kids
Stop
recognize
it."
everything.
I cannot believe she saw this. Who is it? Who is it?
Mickey Mouse and Goofy.
And Donald. Has anybody else ever noticed that?
Israel is a model for the United States. What is it doing? It's trying to hold on to a colonial situation. The epithet that many use against Israel, that you are an example of settler colonialism, that's correct. That's right. They are. They're not different in that way from Rhodesia or South Africa. And what happened to all of them? Whoops. Israel is arguably one of the last remaining settler colonialisms where the fight is still going on between the settlers and the people they displaced.
There was a guy who his entire investment strategy explained in an interview. He was like, you guys are going to be bored about what we're going to do for the next 55 minutes because I can explain it in 5. And we're like, and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, here's it. He's like, okay. So what I do is I find a city and I find the main street. Because usually there's a main street that goes through the middle of the state, the oldest street, whatever. It's like, and then I take a ruler and I go out 30 miles. He's like, and then I buy all that land. He's like, and then I wait 20 years.
I love this guy. How many hours of sleep does a healthy adult need?
At least 7. Between 7 and 9, we like to say. Like, there's this Goldilocks zone. Not too little, not too much, but 7 to 9.
Is 11 depressing?
11, something's going on.
Okay. I'm at least an 8-hour sleeper. That's for
good.
Sure. But I don't sleep it straight. Is that okay that I get up 3 or 4 times in the night? Maybe 2 or 3.
Are they short?
Very short, just to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
we,
okay.
We wake up after every sleep cycle. That's probably what's happening. If you think about it, it's like how to protect yourself if you're living in the wild, right? You wake up, you look around, and then you go back to sleep. You're making sure everything's still okay.
What's the best position to sleep in?
Interestingly, there was a study that just came
That
out
is
in
Daniel
January in a very prestigious journal called Cell. These scientists think that when we sleep on our sides, we can drain our veins in our neck. We have these big jugular veins in our neck. And this clearance of waste that happens when we sleep we get better drainage when we sleep on our side.
I like this answer. I sleep on my sides, flip back and forth throughout the night, and then occasionally I'll do a little bit on my back, and occasionally I'll do a little on my stomach. Now my wife just sleeps, doesn't move, doesn't remove the covers, and just sweats all night long. I just find it disturbing and disgusting. What's the ideal temperature we should be sleeping at?
They say 65 to 68 degrees.
Oh my God, that's my heaven. If you could talk my wife into 65, no, it's like 72. Just something awful.
That's an expensive electric bill if you got your AC down that low. We got ours at 76, and overnight it probably drops to like 72 because it's cool outside, so the inside is cool. But 7 to 8 hours is a sweet spot for your boy. You know what I mean? Last night I got about probably 7 hours, maybe 6.5, because I woke up at 4:30, y'all. I did it. And I feel so good right now. I feel so good getting this done because yesterday was I didn't get to get a lot done because all day I was doing my video throughout the day, like in little 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Finally, I said, you know what? Get your butt in here and sit down right there and let me finish. But this is what I got to do. I got to get up early Monday through Friday, get my video done because boy, does it feel good. Now I have all day, y'all. I got all day just to watch the baby when he takes a nap, go work out. I cleaned the yard last night when Mama Bear got home, so I don't got to do that. Like, it's going to be a nice Friday, y'all. Hope everyone.
Guess on who is the largest landowner in the United States as of right now. This individual owns as much area as half of Lake Ontario, or 2.2 million acres, almost the size of Connecticut, or 3,400 square miles. And your winner chicken dinner is John Malone, known for telecommunications, or as the king of cable. Primarily owns property in Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, and Maine.
Mr. Beast is gonna one day be an evil villain, and everybody knows that. And if you don't know that now. You can tell by two things: his name and his smile. First of all, he goes by Mr. Beast. That's a bad guy, okay? He is already getting to the point where he's like, you can keep this this $2 million Lamborghini Gallardo if you can protect it from these tanks. And you're like, what? I am telling you right now, and this is no lie. No woman, no lie. There will be a time where Mr. Beast kills someone. He may go to jail. He may not go to jail. It might be a weird thing with the law where it's like, oh, well, is he culpable or not? He did put him in an airplane, and then the engine did drop out. They did have parachutes, but they had to fight over him. This is going to happen. I'm psychic. It's not even necessarily that I'm psychic. I just know when I see someone's face and they have that smile and then their name is Mr. Beast, and they often have stunts that include Lamborghini Gallardos, that means that he's going to grow up and become an evil villain and kill someone. Bye. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Mr. Beast. What's your first name? Roast?
We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial must be stopped.
Attorney John Harris revealing the accusations against Motown legend Smokey Robinson.
I will not describe the details of the sexual assaults, and they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference.
All four of Robinson's alleged victims have chosen to remain unnamed and are referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint.
Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage.
The accusations against the music legend include sexual assault, sexual battery, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment.
We're seeking damages of $50 million.
The complaint also claiming one of the Jane Does was first sexually assaulted in 2007 and that these acts continued until she resigned in 2024. According to the complaint, Robinson's former housekeeper claims in the lawsuit that she was sexually assaulted not even 2 months after she started cleaning the couple's Los Angeles mansion. Another Jane Doe claims Robinson started sexually assaulting her in 2016, claiming when she was home alone with the singer at his Los Angeles mansion, he would text her and ask her to meet at places in the house that didn't have cameras. The woman alleges he would then sexually assault her.
We do have evidence of some of the misconduct.
The complaint says the former employees didn't speak out or go to police because they were afraid of losing their livelihood, familial reprisal, and the possible adverse effect on their immigration status.
And having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment.
Robinson's wife, Frances, also named in the lawsuit, accused of creating a hostile work environment and being aware of what was alleged and not doing anything to stop it.
These 4 courageous women want and demand justice for themselves, and the filing of this lawsuit is the first step.
The complaint also accuses the Robinsons of not paying proper wages.
And we reached out to Robinson's record label about these allegations. We're still waiting to hear back.
Do you like Jack Black?
Like, you know, that's not essay on any woman or whatever. It's just, I'm not trying to, you know, make it sound like it's okay. But is this, you know, we saw earlier Corey Holcomb say, they don't let you get out of that industry clean. You know what I mean? They destroy your image. Is that something they're doing here? Right? I don't know. Or did he really do this? Because this goes on, y'all. They all do it. They all do. It's like you need to do something like that in order to get to that level. Because if one day you want to step away from this or you turn your back on us, here comes the lawsuits. Now, is it something like that? Because you don't see this in other, I should say, races, right? Like, we know the Hugh Hefner thing. You know, we've seen the Harvey Weinstein thing. But this is only in certain cultures that it comes to the forefront of the media. You know, I'm trying to say this without stepping on toes or nothing, but like, you know, this happened. We know rock and roll legends that, you know, take underage people on tour with them and do, you know, end up marrying them or doing things like that. Like that comes out, but nothing comes of it. No lawsuits, no dragging them through the mud, no, none of that. So, you know, when I see something like this, it makes me think, like, is there something deeper to it where they don't want you to come out certain genres or cultures of people? They don't want you to get out of the industry clean. I mean, Smokey Robinson's a legend, y'all. He's a legend. And then towards the end of his life, they bash him with this. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's not that deep? And, you know, these musicians and whatnot, because it's only really culture if you think about it, y'all. They don't do this to other, you know, to other people, really. They don't. Just being honest.
Remember back in the day, Michael Jackson used to have that chimpanzee Bubbles? For years, they used to always be together. And then suddenly, you ain't see that monkey no more. Well, I think this man just explained to Vlad TV, why suddenly, we never seen that monkey again.
And I'll never forget, the kids was playing with Bubbles, so Bubba bit Jay.
Bubbles is the monkey.
It's the monkey. Bubba bit Jay on his arm. And Jay said, Dad, he bit me. Michael said, he did what? He said, Bubba, did you bite him? He said, Michael said, bam, slapped him to his knees. And Bubba said, I said, what is he doing? Michael said, praying for his life. Because he know he done did the wrong thing.
So Michael Jackson Bubbles.
Hit him with an 8-piece.
With an 8-piece?
With an 8-piece. Mike was fast.
Really?
Oh my God.
So, monkeys are really strong, though.
Yeah, but you couldn't mess with Mike. Mike hit him so fast, man, he was down on his knees. Praying for his life.
Just about a bubble.
You hit him with an 8-piece.
Hit him with an 8-piece.
Like Mayweather hit.
This is crazy, y'all. Check this out. First time I have ever delivered anything inside underneath a mountain. This is just crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
This is how David Cho convinced the makers of Star Wars to be in the show.
I love all the Star Wars stuff. Even though most of it is all shitty now, I still love it. And as he got in the car, I go, yo, put some street art in Star Wars. And he's like, what? And I was like, the Alliance, the Rebel Alliance. Every time in history, anytime there's a war anywhere in the world, there's rebellious art, right? There's posters, there's graffiti. In Star Wars, you type characters. You have all this fighting and there's no graffiti. And he goes, "You're right, Dave."
That's a very good point.
Yeah, and he goes, "You're right, Dave, and you should do it." So I'm like learning the Arabesh language, the Star Wars language, and I'm layering the graffiti so it would be accurate. And he tries to pay me, and I go, "Dude, I haven't gotten a paycheck in like 10 years. I don't want to get paid." And the guy at Lucasfilm is like, "You don't want to get paid? You're gonna get paid a lot of money for this." I go, "I don't want to fill out taxes for this shit. Like, I don't work. I'm jobless." And he goes, "You're the first person that's ever denied a check from Disney." And then I go, "Put me in, coach." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Put me in just so I could tell my friends and shit that I was in Star Wars."
David Cho's
8
crazy,
hours of
y'all.
makeup. I have 1 second of screen time. This is the first time I'm on TV acting. So I go home. I write a short story about the backstory of my character. And I go, "Oh, it's too boring for me to scream in English. I'm going to learn Huttese, Jabba the Hutt's language." We're betting on Gamorrean guards fighting. And I'm saying it, "Nichu Jujuman Hachaka Tupu." And like, everyone's like, "Dude, you're an extra that's in here for 1 second. No one asked you to learn Jabba the Hutt's language."
So did they tell you to not do it?
And I give it to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who are like the showrunners, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get right on that, Dave."
That's hilarious.
So the old
David Cho is a trip, y'all. Anybody bored after watching Segovia Reacts? You're like, what am I gonna watch? I don't got nothing to watch. Type in David Cho hitchhiking. He's got like a series on Vice, and he goes from, California to New York, just hitchhiking, right? Documenting it. Very entertaining, y'all. Very entertaining. David Cho is a trip, y'all.
We had with the United States based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations is over. It's my solemn promise that when President Trump threatens us again, we will fight back. We will fight back with everything we have to get the best deal for Canada. We will build an independent future for our country, stronger than ever.
They're going to ask you to try on the glove. That glove will not fit you. I'm looking at the glove like I'm a mad scientist. Put it on, take it off, and put it down. What's the next thing I do? I go to lockup. I said, "OJ, when we were at sidebar, they're going to ask you to try on the glove. We've objected, but Ito is going to make you try on that glove. Let me see your hand." Puts it through the bars. And I said, "Hey, I just tried on that glove. It's a little wide in the palm and a little long in the fingers. And I have relatively small hands. That glove will not fit you. So I want you to get as close to the jury as you can. I want you to hold up your hand like you're holding the Olympic torch and pull and tug on the glove because it will not fit." And it didn't. That is the glove story. But I know that glove in the courtroom did not fit Simpson. Had nothing to do with arthritis or medicine he took because we had no idea it was coming.
It's everywhere, y'all. You just gotta look for it.
There is footage that has recently came out of what happened during the Malaysian flight.
Oh, the one that went missing,
disappeared.
Yeah.
Bro, there is this footage that was supposedly recorded on some type of satellite. I'm gonna show you this video, dog. And I'm gonna put it up on the screen. This is absolutely crazy, and I don't even know how to explain what I'm even looking at.
Yeah, let me see this. That's insane.
Okay. Go ahead.
So that's the flight.
That's the
flying.
plane. Yeah, that's the plane.
What is that thing flying around it?
There's 3 of them.
There's like this. Whoa! What the fuck is that?
You see what I'm saying?
There's like these 3. It starts off with 1.
Yeah.
And
Bro.
then 2 other ones come.
Bro, keep watching. You saw that, right?
Bro. Like a white explosion happened or something, but it didn't even look like an explosion. Like
it was like it just said boom,
like a blink,
like it just disappeared.
Yeah,
like it got sent somewhere or something. Okay,
bro, that's some like portal shit,
bro. And then this is where it gets.
It was like channeling up energy and like
Yeah.
sent it somewhere else or something.
Yeah, bro. And then this is where it gets freaking crazy. They even showed it in thermal.
Yo.
It's the same footage. It's the same footage.
Whoa. What the fuck is that?
You saw it disappear, right?
Yes. Nah, that's insane, bro. If that's legit and like for real,
yeah, bro. Even the guy who was talking about it. This was recorded on a satellite, and for years, bro, they already had this footage.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah, bro.
Overreacting is just cringy, y'all. It makes me not. I couldn't watch your podcast. You just overreact. Keep it real. You know what I mean? But could you imagine being on that airplane if that's what happened? Could you imagine being on that airplane? Like, where are they? Are they living in paradise now? In another dimension? Like, oh, this is where it's at. Or what? Like, what is going on with them? Where's the plane? What's going on? We'll never know. Do you think it'll ever come out 30 years from now? Malaysian flight, whatever, has been found in the middle of the Atlantic. Like, what's going to happen? That's crazy. Could you imagine being on that plane? Like, where are they? Are they somewhere right now? Are they breathing?
The umbrella man was one of the few spectators in Dealey Plaza who was not later identified. In fact, his identity has remained a secret to this day. When it studied all of the photographs taken in Dealey Plaza on November the 22nd, 1963, the committee discovered one taken by a light photographer in which the umbrella man can be seen from the front. It is moments after the president has been shot, and the man is sitting on a curb, his umbrella this time lying at his feet. The only problem was that he was off to the corner of the picture, and the image is tiny, unrecognizable in fact. Nevertheless, through photographic enhancement techniques, the committee was able to obtain a blow-up of the photo in which the umbrella man appeared clearly enough to be identified. It would be appropriate at this time, Mr. Chairman, to call Louis Stephen Witt.
Committee calls Mr. Witt.
This might be the flight. Look at that. It's in the middle of a canal. I want to see that while I'm on the plane.
Celebrities named in day one of the Diddy trial. Michael B. Jordan. It is unknown his involvement in the case at this time. Kid Cudi, allegedly, Diddy lit fire to Kid Cudi's car, so he is a witness and will get on the stand. Diddy also allegedly tried to hire someone to break in Kid Cudi's house. Dallas Austin, a music producer who was around Diddy and Cassie during their issues. Mike Myers was named in court day one, but for reasons unknown at this time. Harvey Peer, associate of Diddy, he was listed in lawsuits with Diddy where a woman claimed she was taken advantage of as a minor.
This time traveler goes back in time and takes videos of you without you knowing. So they commented, if you are truly a time traveler, show me when I was in high school eating alone. And they did it. This is insane, y'all. Stay weird.
Will Smith and Jada, they've been open about they have an open relationship. But
Will like guys.
Huh?
Will like guys.
How you know?
I live in LA. Does that make sense to you?
No.
I live in Los Angeles. There's a lot of opportunities I don't get because the guys don't want me to see them with their boyfriends.
Cause you pain. Remember the scripture says, anybody who's not producing fruit, he cuts them off and throws them away. But the people who are producing fruit, he cuts them so that they can have more fruit. What I found out is one cut is full of pain and the other cut.
Think about it. 1,000. David 10,000. Saul killed 1,000. David 10,000. Hey, they not like God. Okay, you can say that. But I'm just saying.
Here's the problem with electric vehicles. This is the number one problem. Resale. Terrible. Porsche Taycans, they sell them for like, what is a Taycan Turbo S? What is it? 160? They sell them like a year later for like 70. Over 200. They lose so much value.
Why is that?
Because nobody wants to buy a used electric car because the range drops off. If you sell like a Ferrari, you lose no money. Like if you buy a Ferrari today and you sell it in a year and you got 1,000 miles on it, you'll make money.
Porsche make money.
You'll make
Porsche's
money.
the best.
Throwing a basketball down a haunted death tunnel.
Okay, go get it.
That's so creepy.
Wait for you here. Sounds like footsteps. Damn.
The concrete structure's been done, and that's 26 million pounds of concrete. This is the first natural layer. We're going to be putting the first layers of subsoil on. And for me, what I love about that is now I can envision like a mountain lion's paw print in the soil. So far, it's been this really concrete, you know, but now this is the first natural layer we're putting on.
I went to do my weekly grocery shopping, and tell me why a diet of rice and beans plus some grocery bags just cost me $80. $80. And I know what y'all are thinking. You must have impulse purchased something. You're right. I did. Brussels sprouts and hummus. How dare I? How dare I? And furthermore, my greatest sin was running out of butter. I should know better than to think little old me, deserve to have olive oil or butter. God forbid I want a fat or an oil involved in my food. Bread? Why was the cheapest loaf of bread $3? As someone who starts every single morning with toast, this is not sustainable. Because I can't go any cheaper than toast in the morning. What's cheaper than toast in the morning? There isn't anything. It was a trick question. Trash bags? I'm about to start throwing my trash into the lawn and burning it anytime there isn't a burn notice. I'm from the olden days, a bygone era, where you could roll a cart down the grocery store, and if you filled it to the absolute brim, you would be lucky to break 100. This basket wasn't even all the way full. I wasn't even tilting, carrying it. No, very confidently. Weak me, just walking perfectly straight with my half-filled basket, thinking this can't break 50. There's no way. This isn't even a week worth of food. I start ringing it up. We hit 50 quarter of the way through. $80. And for the rest of the week, I'm eating rice, beans, toast. I did get eggs, but in my defense, 30 for $10 in the year of 2025, that's a pretty damn good deal. $10 a paycheck, I can live with that. What I can't live with is $3 for a loaf of bread. Are you fucking kidding me?
Alright family, there you have today's reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. 1 minute and 13 seconds for you guys. You guys got to leave some love for that on a Friday. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what's going on Friday. What are you guys doing for Mother's Day? Doing anything? Tomorrow we're doing Mama Bear's Mother's Day. My family's coming out Memorial Day weekend. Well, my mom and dad are coming out, so it's my dad's birthday, so I'm gonna get him something, probably get my mom something for Mother's Day, give her a little late gift. So that's the plan, y'all. That's the plan. But hope everyone has a good day today. I'm gonna have a damn good Friday, y'all. I'm gonna have a good Friday. All I got to do today, I blew my yard out. I watered my grass yesterday. I got synthetic grass, but out here it's so dusty, so I have to water it because the dogs like to go lay in it, and if they lay in it when it's dusty, they come in with dust. So when you water it, settles all the dust down. So I did that yesterday, blew out my yard. It's nice and clean. I just gotta water the plants today. Like I don't got nothing to do today, y'all. Nothing, no chores. I'm just gonna work out and eat clean. That's it. That's the goal today, y'all. It's gonna be a good Friday, y'all. Hope everyone out there is having a good Friday and has a good Friday. I'm out here, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of Man Cave. Just banged out an hour and 13 for you guys. Leave some love. I'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow on Saturday. Later.